Alright, so I've been waiting for this day for a really long time. The Galaxy Fold 7 is finally out, and for a lot of people you're going to be wondering what are the big substantial changes of the Fold 7 over the Fold 6 and whether or not it would be worth a tangible upgrade, or if you are going to be getting a foldable, if you're still okay saving a few $100s and picking up the Fold 6. And so if you guys are new here, my name is Dave and this is where tech meets lifestyle. And going into this year, if you had a gun to my head and asked me like what was the top thing I hoped they would remedy going from the Fold 6 to the Fold 7, even though I love the Fold 6 for a lot of different reasons, is going to be battery life. And battery life is something I'm going to be paying very careful attention to over this next couple of days, weeks, and the month to come. Okay, my love, the time to firmly grasp has come once again. I'm going to tell you nothing about either of these. I just need you to put them in your hand and tell me what you think. Which one's lighter, feels better, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
She's sensing it?
Definitely this one.
This one? Okay, okay.
Can I open them?
Yeah, absolutely, go for it. She's doing the thing.
This opens smoother, more smoothly, I should say.
Is that the, yep, that's the Fold 7, okay. So open more smoothly.
This is thicker, for sure.
That's the Fold 6 right there.
And it's a little rusty to open.
Okay.
Maybe because it's older, but yeah, this is just like way better. The thinner is definitely nicer. The weight, it is lighter too.
It's lighter too?
It's lighter and thinner. It's impressive.
Nice.
And this is still fine, but like, if I had to choose.
Maybe going with the 7? All right. You heard it there, ladies and gents. Can we please get a hashtag finally, hashtag Galaxy fam in the comment section? The front screen of the Galaxy Fold 7 is now finally like actually using a normal phone on the front side with that 6.5-inch display versus the shorter, very narrow 6.3-inch display over on the Fold 6. Again, this is passable, but man, this really just feels like a more robust actual phone experience. I'm in love with it. I mean, every single time I pick this thing up, here you can see just how much thinner the Fold 7 is over the Fold 6. And the Fold 7 being lighter at 215 grams versus like 239 grams, I think, over on the Fold 6. And I'm very fortunate that Samsung actually invited me to New York City for Unpacked to get a first early hands-on. And here's what my initial thoughts were when I first sat down with the phone for the first time. And of course, I have my trusty Fold 6 with me. Very obvious difference picking this up. Like if you were blind, well, if you were blindfolded and they handed them to you, you would be able to tell which one is the 7 easily, for sure. This thinness versus this here. Very tangible. Because sometimes brands, they'll brag about different body specifications year over year, and they'll say that you know, this is like a little bit thinner than this. This is weighs a little bit less than the previous model. But sometimes in actual practical application, you can't really tell a difference. But this here is really tangible. I'm really impressed with this. Experience over here on the Fold 7 is excellent. I mean, everything that you do just feels, looks, and tastes great. Here's the weather app on both of these. Looks really good. That larger display, maybe the video isn't going to do it justice, but when you have it in your hands and compare them side by side, it feels so, so good. Again, the 7.6-inch display on the Fold 6 is really nice, don't get me wrong, but that 8-inch display, man, over here on the Fold 7 is just, it's a dream come true. Okay, so this is the camera on the inner display. I'm gonna give you guys like 4 seconds to see if you can discern which one is on the Fold 6, which one is on the Fold 7, and 3, and 2, and 1. If you thought it was the right-hand side one, you would be correct. And the biggest thing here is that it is no longer an internal camera like on the Fold 6, and there actually is a little punch out now. I've heard some people complain that this destroys their user experience when they're actually looking at the Fold 7. For me personally, my brain just kind of erases it, but it is there. You definitely are going to be getting better camera quality on the Fold 7 because of this. And you're getting a significantly wider camera angle as well on the Fold 7, where if I wanted to take a selfie with the inner display camera, I most certainly could with someone. On the Fold 6, that would be a little bit tougher. All right, so one of the big improvements this year that Samsung is really proud of is that new 200 megapixel camera on the back end compared to the 50 megapixels here on the back of the Galaxy Fold 6, which I'm going to be showing you guys a few different samples. But for those of you not really sure what the big deal about 200 megapixels versus 50 megapixels is essentially that the pictures that you're taking are going to be retaining a lot more information. And so in very simple terms, what that means is that when you take a picture, when you zoom in, you'll notice that there's still going to be good detail, even in like far away parts of the image. And around the entire image in general, there's going to be a lot more detail that's held. And so this is going to be good for like those up close shots, but also can be really good for those wide shots. So honestly, after testing the 200 megapixel shots, I think there are a couple of things to consider. A, for sure, you're definitely getting better detail retention over here on the Fold 7 in that 200 megapixel mode, which is really nice. But two things being that A, these conditions are not perfect for either device. It's overcast, there's not a lot of sun. And so especially like in the shadows and things like that, these phones are having to work a little bit harder. And B is that there is going to be shutter lag on both the 50 megapixel shots you're getting over here and when you're trying to take the 200 megapixel shots over on this side. And all that really means is that when you are taking those pictures, just make sure you have a nice steady hand so that way the sensor can capture all the information that you want it to capture. But as a whole, I can definitely say, at least the pictures that I've taken so far, the difference is certainly obvious. Whether or not that's going to be a big enough difference for you is going to be your call completely, but in my testing is definitely there. And something to consider too is that this might be the best selfie camera on the market because you can take 200 megapixel selfie shots with the back camera by unfolding it and using the camera that way, which might be too much detail for the facial features and the pores and all that stuff. But you definitely could do that, and the results are really impressive. And before you even think it, you probably already thought it. No, I am not paid off to make this video, and actually something that I really appreciated through that entire process of spending 4 days in New York with Samsung is that whenever I had a thought or grievance or a suggestion of something that they missed, like for example, not having the rotating crown on the new Galaxy Watch Ultra, or the fact that the battery is no larger in this and that it's also not a silicon carbon battery, they were very receptive to that. They didn't tell me that I had to say anything. They didn't say that I couldn't mention anything. They just wanted my take, wanted me to experience being there, experience the phones first hands-on and bring a review for you guys. But at no point in time did they ever tell me what I could or couldn't say. And all that being said, I expressed being disappointed that there's no longer S Pen compatibility here on the Fold 7. And some of the reps also echoed that sentiment. They could understand why that would be disappointing for a number of consumers. And essentially what they shared with us is that through their product testing and like their control group testing and things like that, a large number of Fold consumers actually never even use the S Pen, and it's not something that they want. And so what they did then is remove the digitizer layer that's responsible for compatibility with S Pen usage, and they made the actual screen layer thicker and more durable. And so that's kind of the trade-off. Me personally, I absolutely am siding with most of you guys in this video right now watching this, and that I definitely wish that this still had S Pen compatibility. I think it's very short-sighted, and honestly, not having the S Pen kind of keeps this from being just like absolutely darn near perfect in every single way. If I had to guess, it'll return in the Fold 8 next year, but all we can go off of is what we have here. And so ultimately, if you're someone that loves the S Pen, cannot live without it, you can't use it here. What you probably could do though is get those pens with like the squishy tips that kind of mimic like the tip of your finger and try writing, drawing, and doing everything with that. But it's not going to be quite the same as like a tailored S Pen for this tablet experience. I think it's a miss. The overall package is amazing, and I am disappointed that the pen's not here to complement the rest of this amazing upgrade that they've done this year. And of course, a speaker test just to see if there are any improvements under the hood here. And I'm happy to report that in terms of battery life, the Fold 7 has definitely been a really good improvement over the Fold 6, even though you still have the same 4400 milliamp hour battery. I'm able to more comfortably get to the ends of my day, especially if I'm just using it for like phone calls, texts, emails, some social media things. Able to get to my day even on all LTE with like 20%-ish battery life left. So far, it seems like the optimization that they've done here has had a good impact on battery life. Now, of course, you're not going to be getting battery life like, say, on your iPhone 16 Pro Max or your Galaxy S25 Ultra, but in my experience, better than on the Fold 6. I have a whole Twitter thread kind of covering all of that. But so far, I've been pretty pleased. Ultimately, this is the end of the video, and if you want my like very concise idea and concise thoughts on if you should get the Fold 7 over the Fold 6, it really just comes down to the S Pen. They did, well, there's also money to be considered, right? I mean, these are both still very expensive phones. You could definitely save a few $100s going with the Fold 6. And again, to reiterate, until the Fold 7 came out, even though I review a lot of other phones here on the channel, the Fold 6 is the phone that my SIM card just kept on going back into on a day-to-day basis. I'm in love with the Fold 7, man. The Fold 7 is amazing in every way, feels better in the hand. It's lighter, thinner, the screens are larger, having a front display that is actually more like an actual phone is just amazing. I mean, the overall cohesive experience of the Fold 7 is significantly better in every single way over the Fold 6, just flat out. And not having the S Pen is like a huge crux in an otherwise overall near perfect folding phone experience. And ultimately, if you want the pen, you're not gonna get it here. You're gonna have to pick up a Fold 6. But let me know in the comment section if that really is something that matters to you guys, or if there's anything else that I missed in this video that you're wondering about. Definitely gonna be a lot more content of this coming out. But ultimately, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Have a fantastic remainder of your day, afternoon, or night, depending on the time as you are watching this. And as always, peace, love, adios, bye guys, and have a great day.